bow remained utterly still. The boy was looking at the place where the arrow was pointing, but could see nothing. Suddenly, the hand on the string opened. The hand was pushed backward. The bow in the other hand described a graceful arc, and the arrow disappeared from view only to reappear in the distance. "Go and fetch it," said Tetsuya. The boy returned with the arrow. It had pierced a cherry, which he found on the ground 40 meters away. Tetsuya bowed to the archer, went to a corner of his workshop, and picked up what looked like a slender piece of wood, delicately curved, wrapped in a long strip of leather. He slowly unwound the leather and revealed a bow similar to the stranger's, except that it appeared to have seen far more use. "I have no arrows, so I'll need to use one of yours. I will do as you ask, but you will have to keep the promise you made, never to reveal the name of the village where I live. If anyone asks you about me, say that you went to the ends of the earth trying to find me and eventually learned that I had been bitten by a snake and had died 2 days later." The stranger nodded and offered him one of his arrows. Resting one end of the long bamboo bow against the wall and pressing down hard, Tetsuya strung the bow. Then, without a word, he set off toward the mountains. The stranger and the boy went with him. They walked for an hour until they reached a large crevice between 2 rocks through which flowed a rushing river, which could be crossed only by means of a fraying rope bridge almost on the point of collapse. Quite calmly, Tetsuya walked to the middle of the bridge, which swayed ominously. He bowed to something on the other side, loaded the bow just as the stranger had done, lifted it up, brought it back level with his chest, and fired. The boy and the stranger saw that a ripe peach, about 20 meters away, had been pierced by the arrow. "You pierced a cherry. I pierced a peach," said Tetsuya, returning to the safety of the bank. "The cherry is smaller. You hit your target from a distance of 40 meters. Mine was half that. You should, therefore, be able to repeat what I have just done. Stand there in the middle of the bridge and do as I did." Terrified, the stranger made his way to the middle of the dilapidated bridge, transfixed by the sheer drop below his feet. He performed the same ritual gestures and shot at the peach tree, but the arrow sailed past. When he returned to the bank, he was deathly pale. "You have skill, dignity, and posture," said Tetsuya. "You have a good grasp of technique, and you have mastered the bow, but you have not mastered your mind. You know how to shoot when all the circumstances are favorable, but if you are on dangerous ground, you cannot hit the target. The archer cannot always choose the battlefield, so start your training again and be prepared for unfavorable situations. Continue in the way of the bow, for it is a whole life's journey. But remember that a good, accurate shot is very different from one made with peace in your soul." The stranger made another deep bow, replaced his bow and his arrows in the long bag he carried over his shoulder, and left. On the way back, the boy was exultant. "You showed him, Tetsuya! You really are the best!" We should never judge people without first learning to hear and to respect them. The stranger was a good man. He did not humiliate me or try to prove he was better than I am, even though he may have given that impression. He wanted to show off his art and to have it recognized, even though it may have appeared that he was challenging me. Besides, having to confront unexpected trials is part of the way of the bow, and that was precisely what the stranger allowed me to do today. "He said that you were the best, and I didn't even know you were a master archer. So why do you work as a carpenter?"